here's another thing that's weird about the governing of this country, and this is actually quite an important point, and you'll know a bit about this, having been part of a government. On the front page of the Times today, Starmer, I want even closer ties with the United States. Front page of the Telegraph, Starmer, I will not side with Trump over Europe. And in The Sun, he says he doesn't want to take sides. What that tells me is not that, you know, he doesn't know what he's doing, but the communications coming out of Downing Street are all over the place. It sounds to me like there's warring factions, some of them, you know, briefing the Times, which is generally speaking a sort of a Euro-friendly paper, and others briefing the Daily Telegraph, who are not a Euro-friendly paper. So how does that even make any sense?
I think there is a bit of an issue, I think, with political communications and media reporting in the, you know, 24/7 media now. They need stories. And so if there is not an explicit answer from the politicians, there is speculation. And I assume that's what's happening here, is that Starmer has not directly said what his approach will be, which is his prerogative, of course. And so people are snatching at, you know, little bits that have been said to create a narrative. But there will be people
briefing them out of Downing Street, won't there?
To an extent there will. And so the question is Starmer enough of a leader to take a stance? And his stance may be, of course I won't take sides, we want to work with all our allies, fair enough. His stance may be, no, we want close cooperation with Europe, no, we're going to, you know, push towards America, they're the most successful economy at present, whatever. But it takes leadership to really set that tone and set that message. And my kind of read so far is that Starmer hasn't come out and really kind of shown us where he will land there. Maybe he's just waiting until he forms relationships with some of these world leaders, because he's still quite new into the job.
But we keep being told by Labour, though, that the reason he spent so much time abroad in the first 100 days is because he was forging these relationships. So has he forged them, or hasn't he forged them? I
mean, we've seen some clips from some of the bilaterals he had, such as the one with sort of President Xi from China, which didn't exactly show a kind of glowing,
not at all,
beautiful relationship.
No. And in fact, the only thing that happened after he met President Xi was he had a load more people arrested in Hong Kong and locked up for, you know, for breaches of thought crime. You know?
I do think this is where Starmer may struggle, and we go back to the discussion we were having before the break about his kind of character. And he's not naturally a zingy kind of charismatic person. And I think if you're going to do the world stage stuff, you have to have that. You have to be able to chat to the world leaders and make them want to spend time with you, because if you manage to have the chat about your kids or football or like whatever it is in a friendly way, they'll remember that. So next time they want to call one of their ally mates, you'll be top of their list.
Yeah, they'll go, oh, yeah, what about Arsenal the other night?
I enjoyed spending time with him. Like, let's hang out again and then talk about the serious stuff. And my fear, I suppose, with Starmer's character, I think it's a strength in some ways that he's quite calm and measured. But is he going to forge those relationships quickly? In a kind of natural way with other world leaders? And is he also going to get something for Britain out of it all? You know, is he actually going to be doing something good? He said, remember, before he got in, country first, party second. That has ceased to be a phrase that they use anymore, because he clearly isn't actually operating like that. Well, there are a lot of kind of phrases, missions, whatever, that seem to have kind of fallen by the wayside. And I think this will be one of Starmer and the Labour Party's problems, actually, is they came in on this change agenda, and change was their big slogan. And yet a lot of these kind of, I don't quite want to call them scandals, but a lot of the difficulties they're having and the tough stories is much of the same, and that's what people out there are feeling. It's much of the same. It's same old politicians, same old Westminster. And I think it's really difficult to have that change narrative unless people really start feeling it in their communities.
And meanwhile, people are just feeling like they're worse off. You know, the future looks bleak. You know, if you're running a business, it's going to cost you more money to pay national insurance. They've lowered the threshold. They've also upped the number you have to pay. If you're a farmer, you're looking down the barrel of a gun. If you're a pensioner, you're not getting your home heating allowance. You know, it's just a kind of consistently bad picture of bad news.
Summed up, I think, very much by the fact he was so uninterested in the Christmas lights switch on, and then, oh, did it work? Of course it works. It's Christmas lights. You switch them on. You're the Prime Minister. This is Britain. We can do things.
Yes. If you press a switch, normally the lights come on. Normally.
And I'm sick of this decline narrative. I'm sick of it. Britain is great. We need to be proud of our country and do things to make it feel great, but always talking it down about, oh, how bad everything is, how dreary everything is. That doesn't help instill optimism and hope.
I mean, I tell people an awful lot of the time, you know, and particularly in private when they meet me, and they meet me in the pub or whatever, and they go, what are we going to do? And I'm like, look, don't put your hope in politicians. You know, do what you do. Enjoy your family. Enjoy what you do as a job. And I know it's not easy, and it's kind of becoming more expensive to do everything. But don't rely on politicians to save you, because they're not going to. At the end of the day, whether you're a Tory or a Labour supporter or a Lib Dem or a Reform voter, you know, don't put your trust in politicians to make your life better. Make your own life better.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Make your own life better
if you can. And I know that's tough for a lot of people, and I'm sorry if people are listening to this going, he's all right, he's arrogant, he's got plenty of money. It's not about that, but it's about, you know, self-reliance. And I think one of the problems is that we have in this country is that an awful lot of people have become reliant on the government. And some of that is down to COVID.
I think there is a huge COVID impact there.
People are like, you know, well, the government haven't told us to do that, so we're not doing it yet.
Well, even as a kind of backbench MP, we really noticed the impact of COVID on the sort of approaches we were getting to our office.
Yeah.
So pre-COVID, it was genuine concerns about things that had gone wrong, businesses that were mistreating their customers, housing issues, whatever. It was like genuine concerns and the odd bit of trivia. Post-COVID, because the government was telling everyone what they could and couldn't do, I think it became this thing of, well, I don't know the answer, so I'll go to my MP. My highlight example was a guy who wrote to us to say, the 8-year-old boy next door keeps kicking his football against my fence, which in itself, OK, annoying.
Yeah.
I think it was 40 emails over 4 days about this. And it's kind of like, what do you want me to do?
Right.
Would you like me to turn up, confiscate the boy's ball and chat to his dad? No, go and sort it out with your neighbour, take the initiative. And we saw the number of cases flying in. And I don't want to say a lot of it was trivia, because that's unfair to the people whose lives are impacted by it. But it's not the sort of stuff that you need to go to your MP for. There are other ways to sort that out. And it meant that my team were spending more time working on that, so had less time and less attention to the people who are really in dire straits, which was, you know, it's part of our job, it's what we did. But it was just interesting seeing that shift,
I think so. A couple of tweets that have come in. One here from Louise, who says, Mike, you literally make me laugh out loud in the mornings, and that's a talent given the world we are living in right now. Today was the loudest so far. Starmer's light switch on. What an absolute fun sucker he is. Morning, Mike. I'm ashamed, says Mark, that two-tier half-wit Keir is an Arsenal fan. I bet that's how he cheers from his posh box. Hey! What a moron, says Mark from Caterham. We've got another voice note, I think, from Glenn, have we? Yeah.
Morning, Mike. Glenn here from Suffolk. Do you know what? I didn't know it was possible to fall asleep within 2 seconds. But when he started counting, I didn't hear 3. Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Yeah, let's hear it again, just before the break.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay!
I mean, if that was happening in your own, if you're in High Street, I mean, you've seen better, you know, light switch-ons from, you know, some
Primary
DJ from the 1950s or something. You know?
Yeah.